we are ready to get started. We're going to do our workout from the ground today, but we're still going to be standing for our warm up. So we're going to start with our usual arm twists, arm swings. So going from side to side, lifting your heels, turning your body, just kind of waking everything up, making sure everything's loose and feels good. Check in if you feel any aches or pains, kind of pay attention to them in case you need to modify something in your workout today. Maybe get going a little faster if it feels good. Kind of letting your arms swing nice and wide. Just a couple more. And then coming back into stillness, moving on to our shoulder rotations. Nice big circles if that feels okay on your shoulders. But again, checking in, making sure that you don't have any aches and pains, anything that you need to modify for. Go the other way. And then throw them in and out, crossing one arm and then the other on top. Nice. From here, we're going to move on to our elbows. So nice circles in one direction with both arms. And then the other direction. And then moving on to your wrists, nice figure eights. And we're going to add in a little hand stretch today. So just reach one palm out, use your other hand to pull the fingers back towards your forearm. And then point those fingers down and stretch the other direction as well. And then switch sides. And then point those fingers down, stretch to the underside of the forearm. You should feel a stretch in those muscles right along the top of the forearm there. Beautiful. Give your fingers some wiggles. And then we're going to move on to our lower body. Feet out nice and wide, starting with our hip circles. And go the other direction. Beautiful. And then bring those feet in. Start bobbing your hips, your knees forward and backward. And then if it feels okay, add in some circles with your knees as well. Go the other way. Perfect. And then we're going to finish off with our ankles. Feel free to grab a wall or a chair if you need one. You're going to pick one foot up and spin it around in one direction. And then go the other way. Put that one down, switch sides. And go the other way. Perfect. All right, we are ready to get started. So we're going to start with going down on our mat, sitting on our bottom. It's an exercise we've done before, but it's a really great one. So we're going to start with it today. We're going to do a V-sit with alternating bicep curls. So one arm at a time is going to curl up. When it's not doing the bicep curl, it's just going to stay parallel to the ground to keep that muscle engaged the whole time. We have 1 minute on the clock. To make this one a little more challenging, lean back further in your V-sit, or even pick your feet up, or keep those feet planted and sit a little taller to reduce the level of strain for your core. Whatever works best for you, you can make it as easy or difficult as you need it to be for this workout today. All right, 1 minute, here we go. You want to keep your eyes straight ahead, keep your head, neck, and back in line. You can look towards your knees or find a spot on the wall in front of you. And keep doing those bicep curls. Halfway there. Remember, as I said, you can change the difficulty level just by sitting up more or leaning back more, up to you. 15 more seconds. And time, beautiful. All right, next up, we're gonna work on a leg raise plus a kickback. So we're gonna come down onto our side, putting our bottom leg bent under us and our top leg held out straight. You're gonna rest the dumbbell on your thigh. The further you go down your leg, the more the weight will work your leg muscles. The further up closer to your hip you have it, the less weight from the dumbbell you're gonna have. So you're gonna lift up and then kick back and then come back and return it to your starting position. So up and back, down. All right, 1 minute, here we go. When you do that kickback, you can bend your knee a little bit. You really wanna feel your glutes engaged there, maybe even a little bit of flexion in your back. And at any time, if you want to make it more difficult, you can add more weight or just move that weight closer down your leg to your knee. Halfway there. If you feel like you want to up this even a little bit more, don't set your foot down in between. Lower it close to the floor, but don't actually touch the floor. 15 more seconds. Almost there. And time. All right, now we got to do the same thing on the other side. So move your weight, switch sides, get yourself comfortable. Again, that bottom leg is going to be bent. The top leg, starting out with the toes flexed, the feet on the floor, and then adjust your level of difficulty by where you put the weight and whether or not you touch the foot down all the way to the floor for a rest moment or you keep it in the air. All right, 1 minute, here we go. Still doing that kickback. Squeezing those glutes on the way back. Halfway there. Feel free to adjust at any time to make it either more difficult or a little easier. 10 more seconds. And time. Excellent. All right, from here, we're gonna go into a plank position. You can put the weight aside for a minute. We're gonna do a low plank, and you can have one knee down for support if you need. You're gonna have the foot starting with your left foot out to the side, you're dragging it back across. Jump it out to the side, drag it back in. Your goal is to feel that tension in the inside of your leg as you drag that foot back in. So you really want to dig your toes down into the ground so that you get some resistance. We'll do 30 seconds on each side. Here we go. Drag it back in and jump it out. If you want to take this exercise up to the next level, lift that knee off the ground so that you're in a low plank and hold it there nice and steady. Otherwise, you could just focus on dragging that leg in, getting some good resistance. Switch sides. Fifteen more seconds. Almost there. And time. Beautiful. All right, take a second, maybe shake those arms out from that plank. And then from here, we're gonna go all the way down on our back for a chest press into a pullover. For this one, you want one single heavier weight so that you can go from the press into the pullover. And you're gonna lay all the way flat on your back with your knees bent and your feet planted firmly on the ground. Keeping your elbows in nice and tight. You press up and then you lower the weight all the way back till it touches the ground. Bring it back up to start and then bring those elbows back down. We have 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. So press up, lower it over your head till it just touches the ground. Bring it back up and back down to your starting position. Nice and slow, trying to make the motion smooth. Keep your elbows in nice and tight, close to your body. As you're doing the pullover, your back will arch just a little bit. That's okay, but you don't want it to arch too much so that you're coming up far off the ground. If you find that that's happening, maybe cut the range of motion just a little bit so you're not going as far back, so you can engage more of those muscles. And time. Beautiful. All right, from here, we're going to use that same little heavier weight and go into our glute bridge with our skull crusher. So similar position, holding the weight sideways. You're going to rest it on your hips, push up, and then you're going to bring the weight up and lower it down for a skull crusher. Return it to your hips and lower down. One more time all the way through. Feet planted nice and firm. Weights on your hips as you push up. Raise it up. Do the skull crusher, being nice and careful to control it so it's not actually a skull crusher. And then lower everything back down. 1 minute on our clock. Here we go. You're holding that glute bridge while you do the skull crusher. For your form, if you're working on making sure you have everything in nice and tight, you want to make sure your knees aren't collapsing out to the sides, trying to keep them in nice and close together. And again, lowering it, the weight and raising it with good control in both directions. You don't want to let it flop. Almost there. And time. Beautiful. All right, that is one round down. Grab some water. And then we've got 2 more to go. All right, bring it back in. We're back to those V-sits with the alternating bicep curls to start with. So grab 2 weights. Get into whatever level of V-sit is right for your core today. And here we go. Nice and strong and steady. It's not a race. If you start to feel a little tremor in your biceps or in your core, that's okay. That's just your muscles working. As long as there's no pain, just a little burn from the exercise, you're doing good. You got 15 seconds to go. Keep breathing. 5 more seconds. And time. Excellent. Stop. Give everything a little wiggle. And then we're moving on to that leg raise. So come all the way down onto your side. Bend that bottom leg. Place that weight wherever you need it to be for you. And here we go. Up and then kick back. You got it. Squeeze that glute on the kickback. Maybe bend your knees if you need a little more oomph on it. Halfway there. And remember, you can always keep your foot up off the ground to add a little extra level of difficulty. Or you can tap it down for that rest moment if you're getting fatigued. 10 more seconds. And time. All right, switching to the other side. One minute. Here we go. Up and back. You got it. You may find that it's a little harder on one leg than the other. That's okay. That's normal. One of the benefits of exercising with dumbbells is that you can help address imbalances like that by working each muscle independently. 15 more seconds. Almost there, one more. And time. Excellent. All right, from here, we're moving into that plank position with one knee down or with both knees up. It's up to you. Doing that drag to really get that tension on the inside of that leg muscle. You should feel it in your inner thigh. So you really want to dig those toes in and get good resistance. Starting with our left leg, and then I'll tell you 30 seconds to switch sides. Here we go. Jump it out, drag it in. Halfway done on this leg. Whether you have one knee down or not, try to keep your core nice and tight. Almost time. And switch sides. Halfway done on this leg. Only 15 seconds to go. 10 now. You got this. And time. Excellent. Again, take a second. Shake those arms out, especially if you were doing a full plank. And then we're going to flip all the way over for our chest press into our pullover. So maybe move up to a little heavier weight if you've got one handy. Lay all the way back, feet planted. Keep those elbows in nice and tight. Here we go. Press up, lower it back over your head, just touch the ground, and then right back up. If you have access to a bench, this pullover exercise is great to do on a bench too, once you get the form down, because you can go a little bit further in your range of motion. But it's good to do it on the ground first so that you can practice it without the danger of tearing a rotator cuff if you overstretch. Keeping those feet firmly pressed in the ground. Really working on those back and chest muscles.